Alrighty, let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Kara and I am the Exhibitions and Programs Assistant at Transformer, and I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. And I'm so thrilled to introduce MichaelAngelo Rodriguez as he presents a series of poems that he wrote between 2017 through the present. These poems, which explore concepts of identity and emotion, along with the artist Daly's musings and observations, were written in a small, portable moleskin notebook. MichaelAngelo Rodriguez is a 2018 BFA Photography graduate from the Corcoran School of Arts and Design at George Washington University. He received an associate's degree from Tidewater Community College in photography in 2016. His photography employs strategies of time and light to express retrospection and displacement, prompted by the catalyst of familial geographic separation. In 2017, he was invited by Mel Chin to be a studio assistant intern during the preparation of his 2018 show All Over the Place at Queens Museum in Queens, New York. He has participated in regional group shows and venues such as Push Gallery in Asheville, North Carolina, and the George Washington University Gallery 102. Formerly a resident of Norfolk, Virginia, he is a current resident of DC. Ocho Tiempo presents images from several series and reflects Rodriguez's ongoing interest to capture the essence of a moment. His quiet, contemplative images document his lived experiences, heading home, commuting to work, or driving as a means of a meditative escape. Regardless of the destination, Rodriguez embraces and relishes in the freedom. Otro Tiempo reflects moments within these journeys that Rodriguez seeks to remember. And capturing the experience, he solidifies that memory and unique feeling. Michelangelo's exhibition is on view at Transformer until October 23rd, and visiting hours are Thursday through Saturday, 1 to 6 p.m. Transformer is an artist-centered nonprofit visual arts organization that connects and promotes emerging artists and emerging arts leaders within local, national, and international contexts. Our mission is to provide a consistent, supportive, and professional platform for these artists and art leaders to explore and present experimental artistic concepts, build audiences for their work, and advance their careers. Thank you once again for joining us this afternoon, and I'll be turning it over to MichaelAngelo.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I have something in mind that will get us started. I know this is over Zoom, and I really prefer it to be in person so that I can see all your beautiful faces. So what I want to ask is that we all, or that you all may do like a roll call style thing and enter into the chat, say something, say hello, so that I know you're there. And then we can get started. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. Like Kara said, these poems are selected from about 24 Moleskine notebooks that I carried around from like 2017 to present. Please enjoy. Pintar esos cuadros. Letters have form and it is expressive. Let me try and allow rhythm to influence my writing. There is a dance that is writing. Writing is a dance. Where the paper is the stage, the pen is the dancer. The words, the dance. So a little bit about how this is going to go. I'm going to read about 8 poems, and then I'll talk about maybe the relationship between writing and keeping a moleskin or a notebook as a part of my practice. Ma. You ever feel like, what if? I don't understand words. What do they mean? Out of all the forms of communication, language still seems foreign, or actions and one's body language. How do you forget about yourself and your experience? When will I learn that others have their own? I think about how I feel, but that creates a bigger distance between me and them. I, I want to be compassionate. I will always say thank you. And most importantly, I will always remember you. Trigueña, here we are, away from people we know and people who know us that know we are the same. South of the Mason, in the States, we left the island years ago to live in America. The big city, we ain't grow up there, we ain't New Yorican. If it ain't for sympathy, yeah, we always family though. I feel you're lost. You can be prideful about being Boricua, but that gets lost sometimes. And I know that's the way it is in this place where we are. Import and export. Everything belongs to the economy. Name one thing that's not a commodity. Things are only things. They're never yours. The trees are property, even the water. The power that be has conquered everything. How do I feel thinking? They even conquered me. Promise. To lose someone or those memories I have tried to burn. How many lessons must I learn? Fighting uncertainty with patience. I promise, exclamation. Elephant ears. Little eyes and a bitter tongue. Listening with elephant ears. Seeing the world through a fake telescope. Solo ves la oscuridad. No perception of what's close or far. A massive and marvelous sculpture that seems far when you're close and near when you're far. But the sounds are the words, language that I do understand. That's just the way things are. Empatía, in English, empathy. I thought about myself all day. I was busy. Because I was busy doesn't mean that's why I only thought about myself. I'm exhausted with trying to maintain myself for people, and maybe that's why I want to say I thought about myself all day. I think practicing empathy is a good way to think of other things other than yourself. For that, I would have used a stove. I cooked a microwavable meal from 7-Eleven in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm taking my clothes off in my room as it heats up. I begin to reflect on being with her, and the thought of taking off my clothes while with her in bed passes my mind. I then realized that if I can take my clothes off in less than the amount of time it takes to heat up a meal, then taking off clothes takes no time. I then need to heat up the meal more because I had a bite of the mashed potatoes and it was still cold. I set the micro to 30 seconds and I think that is a lot of time to wait. But I know that 30 seconds are what people would call no time. So I begin to think about kissing her and I try to compare the times. Does a kiss last long or is it just something that's quick? I would like to think it's something that lasts for a good amount of time. In fact, I believe you can rate kisses this way: how long they last or how long it seems. So I guess my question is, what dictates how I experience time, whether as I determine long or short, and is it related to pleasure? I can't wait to eat, so 30 seconds seems like a long time, where I wanted to cherish the kiss, so it felt long. If taking my clothes off is so easy, why do it right away? It takes no time, but love takes time. So yeah, those are selected poems from these moleskins that I said I have, that I've filled up over the time. One of the things that I do want to share, that I think is very important to my kind of introduction into being motivated to write or keep a journal, is when I was in college, I caught wind of this like group of students that would get together on Tuesday nights in Hammer Auditorium in the Corcoran and have what they called a poetry night or poetry reading night. Um, and I was fascinated when I found out about this. I immediately befriended everyone, um, Yassine, Sarah, Pat, Ashley, Tony. Um, and at first I didn't read poems. I just was there to attend and like listen to everybody's, poems. And then this was around the time when like Trump got elected, and it was no longer a meetup in the auditorium. We went out into the steps of front entrance on 17th Street, and we had like um, megaphones, and we were shouting our poetry, um, letting the area know what we had to say about how we felt. And it wasn't until we got kicked off the steps that we went back into the auditorium, and that's when being impressed by the movement on the steps, I started to read poetry. And I would just like pull something up from like poetryfoundation.com, and I'd read like Pablo Neruda or Miguel Piñero, people like that. And slowly but surely, I started to get more comfortable and I started to write my own poems. Um, and yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that time and still keep in contact with those people and still call them up and read poetry to them. Um, Poetry and note writing is something that's very integral to my practice. It's how I keep track of my thoughts and ideas. Um, and like a picture, it's memories too. It's memories too. There's drawings involved. Um, yeah. Shout out to Yassine who helped me revise these poems. All right. So I have one last poem. Um, this seems like didn't take that long to get through this. Um, Ideally, in the future, if I keep this going, poetry in conjunction to my shows, perhaps I'll invite more poets, more people that write poetry, to have like a poetry circle and we all can share poems and people like you in the audience can enjoy them. So yeah, let's get into the last poem. Deep down inside, my feet are freezing. It's cold down here and my socks are saturated. Took some time to think how I could change this. I'll overcome when I know the patterns of clouds, when I know the sun will be behind the clouds and when it will appear again. All just by knowing the shape and composition of clouds. Perhaps this is a solution to being in the trenches during the blistering winter cold. For me, that's how and what so. If there is one thing that I'd like to do in this life is become good at telling time, mastering the simple things, but what is simple is also complex. I have memories from my childhood, like the times ghost riding bikes down the street, or when my bike was stolen. I remember wheeling my bike. I felt free. I still feel free. Never allow yourself to be boxed in, box out, and fight for what makes you happy. Always love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelangelo, for sharing these poems with us. It was very lovely. And I also want to thank everyone else who joined and who is going to be watching. But as another reminder, I just want to let you all know that the show is open. Otro Tiempo is open until October 23rd. And our gallery hours are Thursdays through Saturdays from 1 to 6 p.m. And so, yeah, thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.